It was just another morning on September 10, 2012 in Goa. Alas, things had changed drastically in this tiny, glorious slice of India, known for its balmy shores, swaying palms and sparkling waters. The mining industry, historically the mainstay of Goan economy, had in one fell swoop been dealt a body blow. Mining operations had been suspended throughout Goa, and that's how it's been for nearly 10 months. With every passing day, the anxiety, the weight, and the despair grows.
चाळीस 50 जेवणां येताली न्हू त्या जाग्यार आमकां आतां मायन बंद जाल्ल्याक आमगेर एकूय बी जेवण आमकां ना. ह्या धंद्या करता लोन काडलें कोणा कडेन आनी आमी रूम काडले. हे रूम बी आमचे खाली आहा. ड्रायव्हर आसल्यार आमकां गिरायक आसा न्हू, ना जाल्यार कोण ना हांगासर.
25 धंदा करतालो आनी 100 मायल लोक जेवणाक घाताले. आतां कित्याक कोणूच ना न्हू.
दुकानावर जे स्पेअर पार्ट आहे ते रबर पार्ट ते पण खराब झाले 4-5 लाखाचं. आता पैसा तर काही तेच नाही. आता
ट्रक जवळ आमचे हे जे ट्रक जे आसा ते स्क्रॅप जावपाची असली परिस्थिती पावलेली आसा.
आता समजा मायनिंग चालू झालं तर ह्याच गाड्या चालू करायला आता प्रत्येक गाडीला 70-80-1 लाखपर्यंत खर्च आहे.
मायनीज बंद जाल्ल्या कारणान ते ट्रक बंद झाले आणि ते ट्रक हांगा येवपाचे बंद झाले. तेन्ना आमकां आतां आनीक साधनच ना, कितें करचें कांयच कळना. पयलीं आमी अशेंच सामान उडयताले हांगासर गॅरेजीन. आतां ते मायनी बंद जाल्ल्या कारणान कोणा कडेन पयशे ना म्हणून ते रातोरात कितें चोरपाचे करता काम. आतां धडे आमचे गॅरेजींतले ते सगळे नात केले.
दुकान अशें भरा की आमकां जेवपाक सुद्दां टायम नाशिल्लो तेन्ना. आनी आतां अशी परिस्थिती जाल्या का आमी देवाची कशी वाट गिरायकाची पळयता.
घरान पॉकेट मनी मागल्यार पयलीं आमकां जाय तितली काडून दिताली, आतां मागत जाल्यार दिना. आतां एक एडवांटेज आसा म्हटल्यार आमकां फक्त रोडारसून फ्रीली चलपाक मेळटा, पण डिसएडवांटेज भरपूर आहा.
हम केरला से इधर आए, हम फैब्रिकेशन का काम करते हैं. मेरे को अगर रूम का भाड़ा देने का भाई, अगर बच्चा का स्कूल को छोड़ने के लिए भी बहुत तकलीफ है.
4,30,000 people, a third of Goa's population, depend on mining for survival. Thousands of equipment and machinery lies idle, rotting. 20% of the state's gross domestic product and 35% of its revenue has disappeared. The biggest iron ore export port of India lies idle. $6 billion of India's foreign exchange earnings shaved off. Rupees 36,000 crore lost to the Indian economy. 50% of India's iron ore exports that Goa accounted for curtailed by closure.
When the Shah Commission came, the Central Empowered Committee came, and the newspapers, I think the media did not find enough time to go into detail of all these, whether there is really an illegality, but everybody started shouting at the top of their voice, 35,000 crore loss and this and that. The whole mining industry was projected in a very bad light.
The bad name for Goa is because of so-called illegal mining. And who are responsible for this illegal mining? What were the local and the central officials doing here? And the fourth thing is, who hyped this whole thing? It was the Shah report, which was a theoretical report, not a practical one. And based on that, everybody was looking at Goa as this is, people are looting in Goa.
Mining contributes about 4,000 to 5,000 crores every year. It contributed before this ban, every year to the Goan economy. When mining is responsible for about 1/3 of the economy, where is the question of banning it?
Those who have done the scam should be punished, but you don't throw baby with the bathwater. That is a basic principle. Or as I say, कोंकणीन एक म्हणा, in Konkani there is one which says that उंदराच्या रागान घराक उजो लायना. That means rats in the house. You should not go and burn the house down.
I wish it would have been, instead of banning, bring in the controls wherever there has been violation, checking it. Goa is a very cultured and educated state, and people are peaceful, and it is a wonderful state like ours. I don't think we should bring in certain stop and spoil the earnings of the small people. This is a very small territory, and mining is done in 2 or 3 talukas. Don't take decisions in a haste, and look at the poor man who is suffering. You see, it's not the rich who are going to suffer. They have made their buck. But whatever those who owe money to the banks, etc., and their children, there are those who can't have one meal a day. If you go in those areas, it makes me angry. I'm sorry, this is not the right thing to do.
We must know that 3% of Goa's land sustains more than 30% of Goa's population in the mining industry. So in all, more than 12 months of no work has actually broken the backbone, economic backbone of Goa's economy.
The socio-economic impact is so high, people don't understand. In engineering terms, we call it 1-10-100. 1-10-100 is for every person employed directly, 10 persons are employed indirectly, and 100 people are getting their food out of it. Now that means if a factory or a mine, if they are employing 100 persons, then 100 persons, that is 1,000 people are getting 100 people to direct employment. 1,000 people are getting indirect employment, and multiplied by 10,000 houses का feeding होता है. For every person unemployed, 100 चूल्हे बंद हो रहे हैं.
All other earthquake and this one drought or a flood, it is taken as a calamity. But this mining closure is not taken as a calamity, because this had to be declared by the finance minister. The finance minister has to declare it that this is a calamity, and that's why some relaxation has to be given to the mining affected people, and accordingly Reserve Bank can decide on this.
Mining activity is intertwined with the history and development of the coastal state of Goa. While it's through tourism that the areas close to the coastline prospered, mining provided sustenance to people in the hinterland. Over the years, mining became a part of Goa's ecosystem, through which a sizable population prospered. In it for the long haul, Goa's mining companies built infrastructure in the state: roads, bridges, and waterways, apart from taking the lead in building educational institutions and hospitals.
Ever since liberation, all the development activity in Goa, whether it be schools or whether it be the first college, Arts and Science College, or whether it be the law college or whether it be the hospital, all that has been looked after or been initiated by mining companies.
I would say that Goan miners somehow would distinguish from the very beginning until date that they are a different breed altogether. Goa's miners have interwoven the villagers in their backyard, made them business associate in the form of giving them the loan to buy the trucks and the same trucks carrying their ore. So it is development of the entrepreneurships with the villagers so that their business association grows along with the villagers.
Mining companies give to us. They have specially been kind to us to provide transport, books, uniforms, and they help us in various activities like sports and organizing summer camps. Now that mining, there is a ban on mining, all of us, we feel the difference.
पहले एक छोटा स्कूल था, यानी एक 6 रूम का शेड था और कुछ फैसिलिटीज़ नहीं थे, तो वो स्कूल जो है वो इट इज़ हब इन द माइनिंग एरिया, सेंटर में लोकेटेड है और उसके इर्द गिर्द में 4-5 माइनिंग कंपनी हैं. आज हम उधर एक 2 स्टोरेज 32 रूम्स का एक बहुत अच्छा बिल्डिंग बनाया. दे हैव हेल्प इन मैनी वेज.
रोड नसलो कितके वर्सां अशा जाग्यार
आमी रिक्वेस्ट केलें आनी सादारणपणे 90 लाख रुपया म्हणून तो रोड आमकां कंप्लीट करून दिलो. डॉक्टराची फॅसिलिटी उपलब्ध करून दिल्या. एक डॉक्टर आसता हांगा, डेली कमीत कमी 50 ते 60 पेशंट चॅक करता आनी तांकां मेडिसीन बी सगळें फ्री दिता. एम्बुलन्स स्पेशल दवरल्या, त्या मनशाक थंय व्हरोन ताका हाडपाक कांय पयशे कांय घेयनासतना फ्री दवरलेले आसा. शेड्यूल कास्ट लोकांक 6 घरां फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट बांदून दिली.
मायन्स कंपनी जी आसा तेणें आमकां खूब हेल्प केलां. शेता खातीर ट्रॅक्टर्स जावं सारें हे सगळे मायनींग कंपनी आमकां दिता. गोंयांत जे मायनींग आनी एग्रीकल्चर हें बरोबर चलता आनी वेवस्थीत आसा.
माइनिंग एरिया में जाओगे तो महिलाओं ने एक साथ आकर बहुत अच्छी तरह से छोटे छोटे व्यवसाय बनाए हैं सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप के माध्यम से। पहले ये महिलाएं बहुत शर्माती थी, ये हम कैसे करेंगे, हम कैसे कर सकते हैं, लेकिन कंपनी ने हमने जब उनके साथ काम करना शुरू किया, उनके लिए बहुत अलग प्रकार के ट्रेनिंग कोर्सेस हमने रखे, तो उसमें से वो अच्छी तरह से डेवलप हुई है.
The mining companies have helped football have grown up big way. So many players have grown up through these companies, became stars and had their livelihood into football. Earlier days there were jobs, then became professionalism. You play, you take your money, and really it helped football grow in the state. A lot of greenery has come back. Whatever was excavated in the maybe years, long years before, has been replaced back with the rejected mud or whatever it is, and they've given the earth back its own shape. That's the most beautiful thing I have seen.
People in Goa believe that they've got to give back to society a bit or more of what they earn from the total local village or from the mining. Even when the business people, they did their businesses, they believe that, or when the mining companies ran their mining, started or expanding the mining firms, it's been one and, they've shared their prosperity.
It's not just making money, but it's also helping the people grow along with the others.
Mining activity grew gradually during the Portuguese rule, and post-liberation, it grew rapidly on the back of rising export demand. This demand reached feverish proportions in the years after 2005, as the demand from China for Goa's iron ore caused overheating and brought in a slew of fly-by-night traders looking to make a fast buck. While the Chinese boom continued post-2005, within a short 3-year span between 2008 and 2011, export through the Goa port, including Karnataka iron ore, went up from 40 million tons per annum to 54 million tons. This created a huge strain on the coastal state's infrastructure. The situation was exacerbated by court strictures, reducing timings for transportation of iron ore to 10 hours, a mere 40% of the transportation window earlier available to miners. Even as the newly elected state government under Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar moved proactively to deal with the developing scenario of large-scale excesses, an ex-party ban was imposed on mining operations in Goa by the Apex Court.
And everywhere it is 80-20 concept. 80% of the volumes are done by the 20% of the people who are having very, very long-term business interest. Whether it's 60 years back they were there, 60 years hence they will be there. But this 20% of the volume done by 80% of the people, that creates the problem everywhere. So this 80-20 concept is applicable here also. And today those 20% of the volume and 80% of the people, they have vanished. 2010-11, Goa exported through Goa's ports 54 million tons. And 11-12, immediately once all the nuts and bolts started getting tightened, the exports fell down through Goa ports to 43 million tons. Eventually, this 43 and 11, again 80-20 it comes to.
I would not be praising hosannas of the mine owners. I'm not supposed to. But let me be objective when I say that the mine owners have stuck to the text by and large. Fly-by-night operators, yes, because of the Chinese boom, because of the boom, there have been fly-by-night operators, but then it was the duty of the powers that be, the government, to keep a check on them. You need not you did not stop the entire economic wagon and then do repairs. In an intelligent society can do knows how to do running repairs.
This is the only place in the country where there has been an agitation for mining, in support of mining. That is because people are happy, people have been happy in the mining belt with the income they are getting and with possibly with the welfare schemes which the mining companies have been implementing.
The mining industry is in a very bad shape. We cannot live without mining industry. We have to see that balanced development has to be done.
Between the two extremes, we'll have to strike something. We have to differentiate between people who are law-abiding, who are willing to go for sustainable work, and those people who are not willing to. We can't put them in the same lot. गेहूं उठाते हैं मार्केट में, उसमें 4 कंकड़ के दाने होते, क्या बोलते हैं, यार तुम्हारे गेहूं में कंकड़ ही कंकड़ है। अरे भाई, वो 1000 तो गेहूं के दाने हैं, कंकड़ तो 4 है, और आपने बोल दिया पूरा गेहूं खराब है। तो वो 4 कंकड़ को निकाल के बाहर करना होगा, वो गेहूं साफ हो जाएगा।
Goa's delicate social fabric is under strain because of the continued suspension of mining operations.
अकस्मात हें दूख कशें आयलां आनी हे कोस्ट जायते सोंसतात। भुरगीं जायते तांच्या मनांत आसलें भुरग्यांक शिकयतले, जायते तांचें फुडलें शिकप करता। आतां तांकां पयशांचें चिंतूंक पडटा, आपणा लागीं पयशे आसात, पयशे जातले आनी फुडार भुरग्यांचो कितें जातलो। तांचें जिवीत जें खुशालकायेन वेतालें आतां दुख्खी कशें जालां। जिवितांत एके भशेन आत्मघात करपाचें आमी जायते तांकां हें दितात, सुचयतात, पळय वेळ येतलो, हो अप्रोच सुटावो जातलो, हे तरेन आमी तांकां भरवंसो कसो दितात, परत हें घोडे वावर सुरू जातलो। म्हणटच असलें आयलां, फ्रस्ट्रेशन कशें तांच्या जिवितांत आयलां।
The marriages which were fixed between the girl and the boy, they have been broken. Not because of anything. They say this fellow was based is everything on mining. When there is no income, he will not be in a position to pay the banks. The banks will be after him. This is one part of it. Secondly, day to day, eating part is very important. Say roti, kapda or makan is must. Now if you don't get roti, he can starve himself, but he cannot starve his wife and children. If you wait for another 3 or 4 months time, you will hear that Goan people are going to commit suicide.
We might have a lot of more mental health issues which we need to deal with. People might play truants, that is running away from home. They might actually get into juvenile activities. There might be a lot of issues at home like alcoholism, violence, which again can indirectly affect the child and his or her mental health.
Because of this no earnings from the mines, people who were employing, they have stopped sending their children to the school. They have withdrawn the children. So we can't afford to pay the fees. We can't afford to send them to school. You see, education is what is going to take us through in this 21st century.
It has exhausted of all our resources. It has put up liability of interest, added interest. Almost 50 crore rupees interest have been added in the last 1 year. And all our assets valuations have gone down by 50%. That is the kind of damage it has done. More and more so, the erosion on the mental courage and the attitude on the entrepreneurial ability, it has hit us like mad.
So what then is the way forward for a state gasping for breath?
Best thing is that, in most of the advanced countries, there is a self-regulation among the things so that people don't suffer. So now we have to learn new things like that. Let it be dedicated roads for only mining.
We are requesting the government of India that through Ministry of Shipping, they are supposed to declare the whole coast of Goa as partially smooth waters.
Since the dawn of civilization, it has been a challenge for humankind to strike a prudent balance between industrial and economic progress and environmental conservation. On mining rests the whole edifice of manufacturing and the urban lifestyle that is considered a sign of economic progress. That which cannot be grown has to be mined.
Today what has happened? We are importing coal because something or the other coal extraction has gone down. We are not exporting our iron ore, manganese, not only from Goa, other places, it has come down. So what has happened to your rupee? It has gone to 60 against $1.
The number of trucks standing now is so huge that people are dependent, particularly my constituency people, around 90% people directly or indirectly are dependent on the mining business. So where they will go? It is most important that Goa should be looked in different angles. If it is stopped, then certainly this is a harsh step.
God has given mines. These mines should not remain inside. Resume legal mining as early as possible.
We have potentials to go beyond China.
We couldn't have survived for 50 years in a village doing mining if you're doing everything irregular and illegal.
Total ban, personally I feel it may not be good.
Government should have a soft corner, Supreme Court should have a soft corner, and they should allow mining.
Issues raised by anyone who is a stakeholder should be addressed squarely and frankly and properly, correctly, truthfully.
For Goa to prosper, it is imperative that mining operations, which have been allowed for several decades, are restored with some sense of urgency, albeit in an appropriate regulated environment. This will ensure that the endless uncertainty ends for lakhs of people who depend on mining for their livelihood. Goan mining retrieves lost ground. The state economy is put back on the track, and revenues of central and state governments are restored to optimum levels. Mining companies with a long-term outlook and regulatory authorities need to work together to restore the confidence of all stakeholders with sustainable mining practices. This alone can put a smile back on the face of the people of Goa.